It's Friday, the 12th of July, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 big stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1, Commonwealth Bank led the Australian share market higher yesterday, with the bourse close to a record on the back of surging equity markets overseas.
The benchmark S&P ASX 200 closed up nearly 1% to 7,890 points. That is just 7 points shy of its all-time record in late March this year. The all-time high for the bourse is 7,910.5 points. That was hit back on 2 April. Yesterday it peaked at just under 7,900 points. Commonwealth Bank's the standout. Its share price pushed through $130 for the first time, hit $130.30 before closing a bit lower. The bank's now worth $217 billion, just shy of BHP's $221 billion. Plenty of people having a good time yesterday. Bunch of companies hitting multi-year highs or record highs. That included JB Hi-Fi, the retailer, Bendigo Bank, online property group REA, insurance broker Steadfast, software outfit Technology One, online accounting software company Xero. The 3 other major banks are trading close to multi-year highs as well. Now, the strong session reflects the fact that people don't think, well, there's increased confidence that the Reserve Bank won't lift interest rates when it next meets in August.
Sean, this isn't just an Australian story, though, is it? It is a global story.
That's right. Investors globally have priced in a Goldilocks outcome of no recession and easing inflation, according to GFSM market strategist Stephen Miller. But he warns plenty can still go wrong. The moves in the local market yesterday came after the S&P 500 closed above 5,600 points for the first time. Apple's worth $3.57 trillion US. This month, there's only been 12 days this month, its share price is up 10%. In those 10 days, its value has jumped $340 billion US dollars, which is actually more than the total value of BHP and CBA combined. Quite incredible. The top 6 stocks on the US market, which is Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta, they're worth $16.2 trillion US dollars, about 24 trillion Aussie dollars. Pretty phenomenal.
That is staggering. On to story number 2, Sean. The competition watchdog is suing the Good Guys, alleging the retailer made misleading representations about its store credit and store cash promotions.
The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission claims that the Good Guys ran 116 promotions between July 2019 and August 23, in which it offered consumers a store credit or store cash if they spent a certain amount of money on qualifying products. The watchdog alleges that the Good Guys said that the only requirement to receive the store credit was to make a qualifying purchase. However, that wasn't the case because consumers were also required to opt in to receive marketing communications. The ACCC also alleges that the Good Guys represented that store credit or store cash would not expire or would expire after a reasonable period. But in fact, for the majority of promotions, it only lasted about 10 days.
Story number 3. Sean, the number of millionaires in Australia will jump by at least 20% in the next 4 years thanks to higher home values, superannuation balances, and gifts and inheritance.
That's according to the UBS Global Wealth Report. It says Australians' wealth grew by nearly 10% last year, twice the average rate of the other 56 countries studied in the report. The median wealth per adult in Australia is almost $400,000. That's sitting only behind Luxembourg. Australia is now home to 1.9 million US dollar millionaires. That's actually about 1.5 million Aussie dollars, but 1.9 million US dollar millionaires. Total wealth, about $8 trillion. That 1.9 is expected to go to 2.3 million by 2028. Why? Well, housing, we know that story. Superannuation, we know that story. But the intergenerational wealth transfer is particularly interesting. UBS says the oldest of the baby boomers are dying and the youngest are retiring. The population bulge will lead to great transfer of wealth to children, either through inheritance or the bank of mum and dad.
This next one's pretty remarkable, Sean. Story number 4, Elon Musk's brain-computer startup, Neuralink, aims to implant its device into a second human patient in a week or so and hopes to have devices in patients numbering in the high single digits by the end of the year.
In a wide-ranging discussion on X, Mr. Musk and several key Neuralink staffers described the current device's capabilities and future possibilities, such as repairing paralysis and memory loss. In fact, Mr. Musk said that Neuralink would give people superpowers. In the shorter term, the company aims to help patients with brain injury and spinal injuries by enabling them to control phones and computers with their minds. It does that by implanting into the skull a device that it calls telepathy, a round disc with electrode threads attached to it that insert into the brain tissue. When people think, it responds, and the idea, at least, is that they'll be able to control phones and computers.
Sean, last one, story number 5. Samsung is taking on Apple in wearables by launching a smart ring and releasing a new high-end watch with quite a similar look and similar features as the Apple Watch Ultra.
At its Unpacked event in Paris, the company said its long-anticipated Galaxy Ring will cost $400 and monitor a wearer's fitness and sleep. The ring will have sensors for skin temperature, track women's menstrual cycle, and last up to a week on a single charge, according to a report in Bloomberg. Samsung's other major new debut was the Galaxy Watch Ultra, a $650 wearable made of titanium with sleep apnea detection and 2-day battery life. The Galaxy Ring will be available in 9 sizes. Samsung will also have people around helping fit the ring. The company also said the device won't require a subscription, distinguishing it from other new wearables.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Friday, the 12th of July, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to check out the new episode of How Do They Afford That, our sister podcast, all about making your money work harder for you. This week, we look at a few different options of what to do with your tax cut. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.